Hello, friend. Welcome to 10 Bestest, where we sift through the noise so you don't have to. I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
I'm Brian Hart.
Today, I am going to share about the birth of the mixtape.
And I'm going to share why I love new words. Let's get to it.
My Cool Sheet is a podcast episode. This is called Mixtape, Cassetternet, and it's from Radiolab. Radiolab was a cool sheet way back in episode 23. Talk about vintage 10 Bestest, which is fitting because this episode dives into a beautifully vintage topic. I love vintage. It is an awesome set of vignettes, which began back in the 1970s with Simon Goodwin. He was a British computer programmer. And in this fascinating discussion with Simon, one of the things that we are reminded of is how rare computers were back then. Almost no one had a computer at home, even once you get into the early 1980s. And even computers in businesses were pretty rare. They were more common at universities or government institutions, and people's perceptions of computers were that they were just these massive brains doing numerical calculations, not realizing everything else that they could do or would be able to do in the future. Anyway, as the story goes, Simon Goodwin had an idea back in 1983, which was whether it would be possible to broadcast computer software over the radio. So this is a really cool combination of computer programming, software, and radio, which I love. And at that point in his life, he would gather together other computer programmers and they would meet, kind of like in meetups. They'd go to a coffee shop or something, I imagine. And they were all talking about what are the programs that they wrote that week and how could they share them with each other. So it was really all about sharing at that point. And he was imagining that if there was a way to do this, if there was a way to broadcast the computer program over the air, people could then record the programs off of the radio onto cassette tapes, and then they could use them themselves and have this sharing going on rather than handing them off in person. This episode goes on in depth in how it ties in with early stages of the internet and early stages of the mixtape and so much more you can't even imagine. I don't have time to go into. So check out this episode of Radiolab about the mixtape.
Oh, this is so cool. So, yeah, for a second I was like, wait, where is he talking about mixtapes at all?
Yeah, so this is the thing. Is that Radiolab has this 4-part series called Mixtape. Okay. And so this ties in with Mixtape, but also they call it Cassetternet because it's this idea of the cassette tape being the precursor to the internet of sorts.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh my gosh. It goes into the fall of the Iron Curtain.
Wow.
It goes into the Shah of Iran back in the 70s and 80s. Like, dang. I mean, you can't.
In this one episode?
In this one episode.
Wow. That's a great thing about Radiolab. It's such it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And I actually haven't been listening to Radiolab as much as I used to, and you know, they changed. Robert retired, and they got a few new hosts, which is actually really good, I think. But towards the end of Robert's retirement, it was shifting already, and it wasn't striking me as much as it used to, and plus just podcast overload and all of these things. I stopped listening to it for a long time. In fact, my podcast queue is so full that new podcasts don't even come up anymore, like even the ones that I have automatically downloaded. I went through a little binge, I listened to a whole bunch, and then this one popped up actually like 2 days before I saw it on the notes. So because it's the newest Radiolab, I get all the notifications for Radiolab, and I started listening to it this morning, and then I was like, I should probably actually do my own cool sheet notes. So I didn't listen to it, but I'm glad that you gave me a summary because now...
Oh my gosh.
I also saw it was a part of a series, and there was that part of my brain was like, well, I better listen to one first because my head might explode if I listen to 3 before 1 and 2 and not in order.
This one is a standalone.
Right. And I realize they are, but my brain's not wired that way.
Yeah. Oh,
so
this
like
one
I have to go
is
to
so
one.
good. It's so good. Yeah.
I just need to listen to all of them, but I can't wait for this one.
True. Yes. And I noticed that we have, even though Radiolab itself has been a cool sheet, we have also on occasion, I think you usually, but also we've had guests who have talked about Radiolab episodes.
Oh yeah, for
that
sure.
have been cool sheets.
It's one of my favorite things. Is this
Yeah.
like there's this whole thing that's really good, but yeah, sometimes a singular episode can
Yeah.
really just change your life. So yeah, I love
Yes.
talking about that kind of stuff. I always want to do it more, and then it's
Yeah.
like, but which one? Which one would I pick? I don't know.
I know. This one, and it talks
Run
about
away.
piracy.
Oh, yeah.
And these two
Oh, my
guys.
gosh,
Oh, there's
so
so
cool.
much. I can't even. Yeah.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for sharing
yes.
that.
And show notes at 10bestest.com/countdown.
All right, I'm going to be talking about this article, but it's more of kind of our love for words, because I know, Karen, you share this with me. You've especially talked about all kinds of different word cool sheets. And this is 20 words Merriam-Webster is adding to the dictionary in 2021. So, again, we love words. And some people, though, they get a little uptight when it comes to this subject about adding words into the English dictionary. And admittedly, I've done that before when literally didn't mean literally anymore, when they changed the definition. That kind of like rubbed me the wrong way a little bit, but I'm trying to be a little more zen, be okay with it. But most of the time, I do love it. And because it kind of gives you an interesting snapshot of the previous year. So something that has never existed before, it could be a new word, like this air fryer that was added into this dictionary this year. So I feel like that's interesting. Then also slang terms like, am I right? So AMIRITE. Am I right? It's used all the time in social media and text messages by younger people. I love stuff like that. Words that have been used for a long time but never made it into the dictionary before, like astroturf was just now introduced this year. I've been saying astroturf forever because I've been a big football fan, and they use AstroTurf. It's that fake field in a football game, not just American football, but all kinds of different sports. There's surprising ones like, of course, and virus related, so breakthrough. Now that isn't a new word by any means, but they added when it's used in the medical sense, super spreader. Another one, vaccine passport. A lot of these are really triggering for people. Sorry about that. Words I've never heard of, like copy pasta. There's other words like atku, oblique, funny ones like dad bod, digital nomad, doorbell, camera, faux hawk, which some actually have, fluffer, nutter, which is not dirty, it's a food thing. There's all different kinds of things. There's so many good ones. Definitely check out this article and just enjoy all these new words that we have. This is the article, 20 words Merriam-Webster is adding to the dictionary in 2021.
Fun fact, one of the words, I'm not going to say which one, is a future cool sheet of mine.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, you better hurry up, because I might grab it accidentally.
You're not.
Okay. All right, I won't.
Well, I feel confident you're not.
Okay.
We'll see. Maybe
Now
that
it's
will
a
be
challenge.
the one. That will be the one where we both come in the same cool sheet.
We finally do it, yeah.
So, okay, we are now in episode, 217, which means we have done 2,170 cool sheets at this point.
Yeah.
And we still have yet to, both of us, come in with the same cool sheet at the same time.
We have duplicated. We have duplicated our own. We have duplicated each other's. Past guests, all of that. Not often, but it is funny when it does happen.
It does. Yeah, I mean, after a certain point, well, anyway. So.
Yeah. We're just going to start from one and go
right. So, yeah, so it could happen. It could happen.
It could. It's harder now because we actually, once we got on YouTube, we do see each other's notes.
Yes.
So I guess we could see it and then not do it. Or maybe we just do it anyway. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it
I gotta
rolls.
say, yeah, I mean, I always choose mine before I see yours.
Yeah.
And I think I would just do it. I think it would be fun.
All right.
And just see how we...
different take would be super interesting, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I love words.
Yeah,
so
I knew you would like
it.
this one, I think.
Yeah.
And what do you feel about when they add words to the dictionary? Is that one of those things that you're, like, especially the slang words and things like that? Like dad bod is now in there, and am I right, which is an ungrammatically spelled word. I mean, does that bug you, or do you like it, or how?
I mean,
as a word lover,
I feel like if it's a word and it's used, then bring it in.
All
like
right.
it doesn't
That's
bother
cool.
me. I'm surprised at am I right? Like, because why do we need it there? But I don't know.
What about literally, when that one changed? Because that one did bother me.
You know what?
When literally didn't mean literally anymore. And they changed it to mean figuratively, or or non-literally. I was like, oh, now we're kind of a problem because it's the opposite meaning, and now it's okay, and that's super confusing.
I get really excited when I'm able to use literally in a sentence correctly.
Yeah,
I like woohoo.
Well, now you can use it for whatever you want, apparently. You're always using it correctly. It can mean peanut butter next year. Right. Who knows?
But take home is I'm okay with it. I do wonder, what about WTF or whatever?
Oh, they did have some TBH and another acronym. They did it. So to be honest, there were two that made it this year.
Interesting.
That were acronyms. Yeah.
So
for
maybe,
the win. FTW was the other one.
Okay.
That they had. Now there was over 200 words, and this article is just highlighting 20.
Gotcha.
So could be more.
All right. Yeah. Well, thank you.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for joining us, friend. I'm Karen McFarland-Holman.
And I'm Brian Hart.
Let us know in the comments what was on the very first mixtape you ever made.
And let us know what's your favorite new word right now.
If you're enjoying the show, please give us a like and share it with a friend.
Stay tuned tomorrow for another great show.
And don't forget to stay curious.